Oh yeah,
Oh
production
man.
value. Welcome everybody. Figures not included. Back again for our, I believe, 9th episode. Michael, does that sound about right to you?
Made it to the big 9.
Big 9. We're here. We're coming up on our big, double-digit anniversary, so that'll be a fun episode. But
Yeah.
you guys here today. We are a bit excited. We have some really fun stuff to talk about. We actually had a lot of fun. As you guys could see, we were able to get together a little bit, add some, new and exciting content we got to put together. We have some other
Yeah.
fun surprises. Hats off to Michael here with his amazing technical abilities.
I mean, it was a joint effort. It really was, making the best intro of any toy podcast, I think. So
I think it's pretty darn awesome. So we hope you guys enjoy it.
it's pretty rock and roll. I gotta say, it was just so fun hanging out with you at the shop. I mean, we were there the whole day, and
Always.
I saw the inner workings of Hidden Temple Toys, and it's so cool hanging out there.
It's always a pleasure when we can just get together face to face and kind of do our thing. And that just kind of shows when we get together, a little bit of magic happens, just squirts out.
Just squirts out. We just secrete magic juices all over each other, and we create stuff like that.
Exactly.
We're together. Larry is not today. He is out.
He's suffering from worms, I believe.
Yeah, he got some of those shredder worms. So hopefully he heals it. I mean, you got to know, where you're putting that butt sometimes, so you can't just be.
You just can't sit on any public toilet.
You can't sit on any public toilet
seat. A canister of TCRI ooze in the corner and splodges of glowing stuff on the toilet. Don't sit down. At least wipe it down a little bit, right?
Yeah. Use like one of the little dispensers they have for the toilet. You just put it down, lay it down on the seat, and then you can,
a lot of things Larry could have done differently.
Very questionable, but hopefully he heals up and he's all good, and then he'll be back next week.
Dewormer, and he'll be back.
Little dewormer, yeah, squirt in the right places,
Exactly. So yeah, It's been a fun week. A lot of great things have happening. I know we got to talk a little bit while you were here in person about all the fun stuff. We talked about Daredevil and how we enjoyed, the season of Born Again on Disney. Pretty entertaining. I enjoyed the show as a whole. I do feel it's a slow burn. I feel like we're only getting like the very first little part, maybe like a fourth of the story, and it just feels like a lot more that we're craving that we didn't get in this first season. That hopefully they're gonna start off the second season. It's already been filming, with pedal to the metal, all gears pumping, and we're gonna get a real action-packed second season with like a lot of stuff people have been wanting to see.
Yeah, I think with Daredevil is there was a lot of there's a little bit of it being sort of very procedural in terms of it being sort of a Law and Order kind of a feeling to it, but it had some really awesome graphic action. It was really cool seeing Daredevil and Punisher come out together. I mean, spoiler alert, we're talking about the show a little bit.
We should have put a little warning before we spoke, if you haven't caught it.
Whoops, sorry.
Hey,
my bad.
What are you doing?
It's that kind of age now, man, where you just have to succumb to how things come out now. There's no real delay. It's all very instant reaction, but
you're gonna get hit by a spoiler here or there. But anyway, the show itself is good, and I am a fan of the Law and Order type of show, and those kind of more criminal shows. So I did like that they spent time developing Matt Murdock as a lawyer. I thought that was really cool to see. But I was, hoping for a little more actual Daredevil. I think they need to work a little more on balancing Daredevil and Matt Murdock. I always feel that the heroes always get a little shortchanged, and more of the alter ego, the civilian, gets more limelight in these shows. And I think people are just clamoring for more, of the hero version. So hopefully we'll get a little more, hopefully a lot more of that in the following season. But like you mentioned, we did get to see the return of Frank Castle in full Punisher gear, even sporting his real, as you put it, Mikey, Jersey boy haircut. And you really like that one?
Like Frankie Valli and the
Frankie Valli.
Yeah, he's got a little like Joey Buttafuoco look to him. Hey, I'm punishing over here. Come on, I got my hatchet.
You know,
Yeah,
but I
really.
love the design of the skull on the chest. I thought it was really cool in the show. In the final episode, you see him walking out of the dark, and you just see that skull, piercing through the darkness. Very cool. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited of this figure, regardless of the real clean manicure haircut he's got. But, I mean,
I
hey,
mean, in the
he's got to
show,
look
he's fully
good when he's snapping
bearded with
neck.
long hair. He's
Yeah,
all grizzled and disheveled. And
that's what I'm
then, I
saying.
mean, out of nowhere, he just found like the only barber shop that was still open in
Exactly.
Hell's Kitchen, and
Exactly.
was like, "Give me the regular Josh" or something. And then they just did him up real nice.
They
So,
did. They made it look real clean cut, and I mean, he looked good when
real
you're
smooth.
snapping necks, cashing those checks. You want to look your best,
I mean, talk
and
about
we got
snapping necks, man. I mean, I will
they
give it to it. They went for it. You
they
know,
amped the gore with Frank Castle. I mean, when you
they
saw the
did.
Punisher, blood was flying everywhere,
Oh, it
brutal,
was
bone
shooting all over
breaking.
the place. Not
Oh
just
my
him,
god,
too. I mean, Daredevil too, and then
yeah,
Kingpin obviously had the
yeah, they
most.
were all pretty brutal in that episode. But I think
Yeah,
the brutality really comes across with
I
John
mean,
Bernthal's portrayal of Frank Castle. I mean, he is
yeah.
gruesome.
I
So
mean,
super excited.
Kingpin had basically a fatality
Oh
with
yeah, that was like right out of
the
Mortal Kombat.
commissioner. Yeah, it was like whoa.
Fatality.
I know. It was
Yeah,
so.
that was pretty gnarly. So we'll
Yeah,
leave it
it
up to
was
your imagination if you haven't seen the show yet, but definitely check it out.
too
I
late
think
now.
it's a good start to a series. I really hope that Marvel continues to push it and give us a lot more of what we're looking for in the second season. But all in all, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. I think sort of getting back to basics, and it's been away for so long. So you're trying to set up this whole new premise of Daredevil and Kingpin, and it's going to take a little bit. Plus, it's also kind of nice to see that aspect of Matt Murdock too, of him being a lawyer. That's an important part of his character. Now, the whole drama of figuring like if he's going to do Daredevil or is he going to stay with Matt Murdock, that it takes a while. It does take
Yeah,
its time. Like you
and I
said, the
think
slow burn of it all, but. Yeah, with you, I'm hoping now that, and I'm sure that season 2 is going to be mostly Daredevil.
yeah, that's what we're hoping. We'll see a little more of DD
Well,
in
it's that
his
deep D, you know?
his double D's, and he's going to be looking all good and
Yeah.
and voluptuous. And so that'll be
Voluptuous.
yeah,
Is that the
double D's,
first
right?
word that comes to mind when you see Daredevil? Ooh, voluptuous.
When you think of double D's, I was just thinking.
Oh, okay, okay. Sure.
Anyway, hopefully it'll be a
Creep.
really good show. And second season, I'm looking forward to it. Hope to see, like I said, them go in the right direction with the follow up.
Yeah,
So we'll see. But there
absolutely.
was other cool news popping up too. Another big franchise. We saw Celebration in Japan for Star Wars happen
Yeah, we
this
did. Well, I
weekend.
mean, we got to make it official. We're going into it. We got to call it the hot toy news. I mean, come on.
Oh,
This is what we're doing. This is how we
yeah,
do it.
hit it officially. So hot, so nice.
If it's not hot toy news, then it doesn't count. We got to start the
Doesn't
whole show
count.
over
You're right.
again.
That's right.
No, it's good. No, for sure. Yeah, we had Star
Thanks
Wars
for
Celebration. Hey, man, and I'm watching you. I'm your wingman here. So, Star Wars Celebration happened in Hapang, and it looked, by all accounts and purposes, really, really fun. It happens every 2 years, so it's a biannual sort of thing. But it
like
looked,
you are.
I mean, like I'm biannual.
Oh, I heard you say something else. Never mind. Let's move. Let's move on.
Oh my god, man! It's always every episode, just like it never ends with this dude. Unbelievable.
I got a lot of
Anyway,
wax built up. It's hard to hear you
Ew.
sometimes, Michael.
Yeah, it's that potato mouth I got. So yeah, so a lot of cool reveals, especially from Hasbro. I mean, there's all these different movies and television shows that they
Oh,
announced, and
I think
you got
my particular gem was finding out that the heartthrob Ryan Gosling will now be canonized in Star Wars.
he will be
I can't wait to see what he does. And what is it? Sean Levy's doing it.
the one and only Sean Levy
There we
of
go.
Deadpool and Wolverine and something else. I
I
don't
believe
even know
that's
what he
who they
really
said was
does.
directed. So yeah, we'll see what they put together. Hopefully it'll be fun. I'm seeing something like Drive. What was the movie Driver? You know, like a mix
Drive.
between Drive and the Notebook. That's what we
That's the
need for
pitch.
Star
That's
Wars.
the pitch right there, guy. I'm thinking Drive mixed with the Notebook, but in
Perfect
space and
balance
Star Wars.
in space.
Money equals money. Yeah, well, if subtle and
Find the
nuance is the thing you're
paychecks.
looking
Get it done.
for, and moody, Sean Levy is definitely your guy. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a Starfighter, and it's gonna be after the Rise of Skywalker, so it will be the first thing that actually takes place after the
Yeah.
sequel
That'll be
trilogy, which
interesting to
is
see.
interesting.
I'm very
Yeah,
curious to know where they go on from the events of the last trilogy.
well,
Hopefully they'll do something really cool with it.
yeah, you're very bi curious, I know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, my just curiosity is like, will there be Jedis or is it just going to be straight off like space, Western or something, kind of like the
Right.
Mandalorian, or are they just gonna just do something completely different? Very interesting. I think this is what people wanted from Star Wars is like fresh footing. Let's not
Yeah.
bring in a lot of the stuff. Let's just play in the sandbox. Let's leave all the other pieces out of it and start something.
Hmm.
So hopefully it
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the question. How much does it tie into things that have already happened in the universe, or is it its own separate thing? And what's the tone of it? I don't know if you saw the Fall Guy, the other Ryan Gosling movie, where he's
Oh,
the
yeah, I
stuntman.
see it. Mhm.
I can see something sort of in that vein,
That might be an
or
interesting
like a
take.
like a fun action sort of comedy. I don't know how
Oh,
straight they'll play it, or how
like
deep
a like a
or
like
dark.
Andor, but comedy, you know?
I've not seen Andor yet, even though I hear it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Andor, the first season is fantastic, I believe, but it is a slow pace. It's definitely a much more, um, what do you call it? Mental thriller. It's not so much of an
Mm,
action-based show, even though there's a little
not a
bit here and
physical
there.
thriller.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's really, a really fun show, and I love it. And it's kind of one of those things that it's like, let's play in the Star Wars sandbox, but not mess around with like the Jedi and the stuff that we see, all the
Right.
more swashbuckling elements, and let's go more into like
Yeah.
espionage and more of that kind of thing. So it's a really fun one, and season 2 I think is premiering. So yeah, I think you should jump on it. I think it was really good. Diego Luna does a great job as lead, and so
I
I
love
think there's
Diego
a lot of
Luna.
yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Supposedly, season 2 leads right into Rogue One, so we'll see how that pans out. And yeah, I'm excited to check it out. Star Wars has been in a bit of
Latinos
a
in
lull.
space.
So
Yeah.
hopefully, Celebration here is the launch of like a whole new era for Star Wars, and we're gonna start seeing Star Wars come back with vengeance. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, it also had a new launch of some cool reveals. So you have this 2 pack. This is a cow, and I don't know
Cal
this
Kestis
monster.
and Frog
Yeah,
Guy.
and Turgle. That's a great name,
It's a
Turgle.
great name. He looks like
I mean,
something out of Adventure Time.
I think this is what crawled up a Larry's butt. That's why that's the worm
Drop
that
the
would
worms
happen. That's the worm. He got a turgle up his butt. So.
gross. Don't sit on the
Gotta clean
frog,
that
Larry.
turtle out. Don't sound the frog, Larry. Yeah. I mean, it kind of looks awesome. I love that design. The turtle thing's super,
It's a
super
fun figure.
wild
You
out.
don't get a lot
Yeah.
of like really interesting aliens, and sometimes when you do, they're just kind of silly looking. This thing is really fun. It's just like a weird little character you'd want to put on your shelf.
I mean, do you love this head sculpt or what?
Oh yeah, I mean, look at that. You with the
That head built for tough.
mullet. Oh my gosh, yeah. Put that
I
guy at
mean, and the handlebar.
50. He's gonna look good.
It's like Kid Rock in space. It's amazing.
That figure's gonna be real fun for customizations,
That's
I believe so.
absolutely, yeah. We have a new Chewbacca. Oh, we have a new Han Solo.
More of the
I
same.
think they
But the one
both
that
look
really
pretty
caught
good.
my attention.
Good head sculpt.
Whoa, look at that hair. Real
Beautiful, feathery.
flowing
Yes,
feathery hair, yeah. But no,
but
let's show him the one
obviously,
that let's show him the one that stole the show, Michael. Show him the one that really I think people are excited about.
this is the
Your
one.
main man, I know. You love this guy. And now here he is in all 6 inches of plastic glory.
There he is, Dash Rendar.
Dash. Very
I
cool figure.
I mean, look, obviously one of the most wanted, most requested figures out there. and he looks good. He looks
Yeah,
good.
it looks really
You
fun.
know, head sculpt, massive jawline. I don't remember him looking like that, and we can kind of go back to see some of the art from the video games, and he
Mhm.
had more of like a Kevin Costner type of look, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And even in like the video game where you see the live action, this guy looks wasted though. He looks bloated and inflamed. But Dash Rendar was kind of like that. But yeah, the figure, it leaves a little. I was just so excited to see that they're making Dash Rendar because I've been wanting this one to go with the Prince Esor for,
yeah,
I mean, forever. So I'm still gonna get it, obviously. But
yeah.
it is cool. It is cool.
I've been very picky with the Black Series lately. I think there's been a lot of figures that just weren't super exciting. And I'm glad to see a couple of really cool characters that you're like, well, those are really fun. I actually want that one. I want to add that to my shelf. It would look really cool. And this is definitely one, like you said, most requested. And here we go.
Yeah.
They finally delivered. And yeah, this one's gonna be a lot of fun. It's just such a cool, nostalgic character that so many people remember.
Do you remember having this figure back in the Power of the Force day, Shadow of the Empire?
I remember messing with yours.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, I
awesome.
don't think I ever had it in the Power of the Force myself. I just remember you always had it sitting on your what do you call it thing, your dresser. And yeah, he was always cool. I always liked his outfit.
I loved his outfit. I loved his vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And awesome. I think they call it the Outlander or
Outrider?
something like Outrider. The Outrider.
I think it's the Outrider, yeah.
Outrider. Yeah, Outrider ship. That's it. That thing is one of the coolest ships in all of Star Wars.
It's a really popular one. That's one. Hey, why don't we get that? Hasbro could do that. Maybe the next HasLab, maybe just the regular release. And it wasn't that huge, they could do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you do a ship like that, you're gonna do it in it would have to be TVC, like 3 3/4 scale.
Yeah.
I just don't imagine a 6 inch one, but I mean that one is so cool. The mechanics of it, it's such a good one. So if they go TVC with Shadows of the Empire, I might be effed in the A, so to speak. So
Uh-oh.
I kind of don't
That's
want them to,
trouble,
but I also
Michael.
want them to as well.
That's trouble for you.
Here comes trouble. Yeah,
But yeah, it'll
but
be
still,
exciting.
it's very cool. I'm happy to get Dash Rendar. Big reveal. Like I said, we
Yeah.
have Chewbacca. This is a brand new actual Chewbacca, so brand new sculpt. Um, that will be coming out with the Han Solo. They're all
Yeah.
single packs as well.
Interesting to
Full
see,
Han Solo.
a lot of repeats. It seems very similar to what happened with the vintage line. They kept just re-releasing the same figures with a little bit of better sculpt, a little bit of better articulation, this and that. But I think people got tired of it. So I wish they would give us more original characters, more sought after characters, than just kind of reworking old characters. But
I think there was a sort of demand to get these OG ones because now you have the Luke, you have Leia, and so now you have Chewbacca and Han,
they've
and
made
so
like
and
3 versions of all of those.
no, for sure. But now you're hoping, okay, these are the final, like, ultimate Black Series versions,
That's
and
what I think
they
that's what we
never
learned
will
about
be.
the 3/4 inch line. There's never going
Uh,
to be a final
it never is.
ultimate. They're
There
just
never
going
is
to
a
keep
final.
re-releasing.
It's like when you make Photoshop files and you save them. We put final underscore
Yeah,
final
final
rev,
two,
final
final
version,
one.
the ultimate final. It's like that with Star Wars toys. There's just
Yeah.
always going to be a new final version.
But here we go. Look at this one. This is definitely something that I think would be very popular. The Ronin from the Visionaries show. Such a cool character, such a cool design. And here Hasbro was able to capture it along with the droid. I mean, how cool is this? I mean, this is the kind of figures I think people want from Star Wars and Hasbro.
Yeah,
They want to see just
it's
really
an awesome
cool.
design. It's an
Exactly.
awesome design.
Yeah, I think some of them just been so bland and so boring. A lot of like the Jedi's and the ones from some of these much more subdued shows without a lot of
Hmm.
creativity behind the character designs. But
Oh,
then we get stuff like this. Like, look at that little pop-up hat. I mean, how cool is that?
so good.
I mean, if
It's
you're a
really
Star
good.
Wars, fan, you're gonna love something like this. And so, yeah,
And that wire cloth on the Ronin looks really good. They put a
yeah,
lot of effort and detail into this
yeah.
one.
And this was available on Amazon, so it's nice that they're making it easily accessible to people. You
I
know,
love just, I mean, look, it's so illogical to do a lightsaber like this in sort of like a samurai sheath, but it just looks so badass that I don't even care about the logic of it. It just is such a cool image having the
Yeah, I mean,
lightsaber
sometimes
pull
with this
out
stuff,
like
does
that.
it always have to make perfect sense? No,
No, it doesn't. No,
yeah,
no, absolutely, I agree. I think with something like Star Wars, you can get away with just cool, iconic imagery,
yeah.
and that is definitely such a cool look to have
Oh,
the
yeah.
lightsaber coming out,
I love it.
like
I love
very
it.
samurai-like. So,
Really, really well done. Hopefully,
and the
they'll do the
packaging
girl.
beautiful too.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember the I forget the name of the one the woman, Sith that he fights in the show. She was really cool. Her design was crazy, and she had, like, an umbrella that had, like, lightsabers and all the little, arms for the umbrella. It was so cool.
Mhm.
I hopefully will get a follow-up for the Ronin with, that character because that would be really fun and
Yeah,
have
you
both of
probably
them
will.
dueling. Yes.
Yeah, vintage collection. They had a good showing as well. I'm not into the vintage collection, but this 2-pack Tusken Raider and the Bantha is so awesome. It's
It's
really
very
good.
cool. It's a very nice, rendition of a bantha finally looking, movie accurate.
It's great.
I think they've done one before from the old Power of the Force line, maybe, but man, this or no, was it later on? But
It
yeah,
might have been later on.
this one definitely looks it's the best I think it's ever seen, and it'll be fun for people who love recreating scenes and images from the
Hmm.
movie. I mean, get a couple of these and put some sand troopers around it. Oh, it's gonna look so cool.
Yeah, that looks really cool. Also, I mean, besides Hasbro, there was Mofex. There was some exclusives as well.
Hmm.
There was
Hot
Tamashi
toys.
Nations had their display. Well, I
Yep.
want to go through these because these were actual reveals that they had.
Okay.
You have your Ani, little Ani.
Annie, is that you, little Annie?
Yeah, that is him. So we get this is our first reveal. Anakin Skywalker, Phantom Menace. Looks cool. If you need an Annie, this could be one you would get. I dig that one. This is a great one. Here we go. We got Luke on Dagobah with yogurt. And I love this is one of my favorite looks for Luke. This one and Bespin. I mean, sort of the same thing, but
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Face, Mark Hamill face is hard to get sometimes,
Yeah. I mean,
So
a few times they've gotten it pretty nicely, but I could definitely see it being a difficult one to get perfect. So it's nice to see them making an effort here.
yeah, and we got Mace Windu, which is looking
Mace.
very, very nice. Give me a Sam Jackson figure
Yeah.
any day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He
With
makes
that one.
a fun figure.
Mayfix had their chromed out Mandalorian. They also had um, the Luke and Han Stormtrooper outfits
Mhm.
exclusives as well. I love the chromed out look on Mando. It looked really
Yeah, I think a lot of
nice.
people are gonna like to see a shiny Beskar, where it really,
Yeah,
really shines like that. So that's an exciting one. I can definitely see people being excited to get that version of him, and just some of these really well rendered characters. That's the nice part about these import figures is like the mobility, the accessories, and just the quality of the rendering of the character just always is top notch for the most part.
absolutely.
There's been a couple of stinkers, but for the most part, they do a good job.
They do, yeah, I would say so. You're not going to bat 1,000. So, but for the most part, they do a good job. For the most part, Hot Toys does a great job as well. And I don't know if you know this, but people have asked for it. People wanted it, and I think they're going to get it now. We have a look at the Pope Pamarin
Yeah,
from
they
Sideshow.
posted this picture. They had a lot of really cool ones. I was super excited about the Republic Commandos there.
Yeah, they look.
But
Oh my
then,
god,
yeah,
they look so good.
I saw a little red jumpsuit, and I was like, "Whoa, is that who I think it is?"
That is him. That's Mr. Prototype himself, Poe
Finally.
Dameron. It's
Well,
been
yeah,
a long
this
time.
was kind
Yeah,
of
it's been a
teased
long
about
time
years and
coming.
years ago when the
Ten
trilogy was
thousand
underway.
years.
And
Yeah.
now we're starting to see that. So that was really
He's
cool to see that being displayed there. So
yeah, he's
hopefully we'll get
making his
a
way.
little more news of that coming soon. I hope.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, the jumpsuit looks good. I can't really get into the face detail, but maybe we can pull up some pictures later and we can take a look. But
Yeah,
again,
hopefully
it's a
we'll get a little
prototype, so
bit
things can
closer
change very
pictures of all
quickly.
of them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so such cool stuff from Star Wars Celebration. A lot of videos out there and photos of everyone having a great time, and those times will continue in 2027 during the 50
Big 50.
anniversary of Star Wars in Los Angeles,
And
and
you'll be
that
turning
would be
50 that
fun.
year too, won't you, Michael?
The what? I'm turning
Won't you?
50.
Isn't that you turning 50 that year too?
Apparently, yeah. I look terrible. I'm worn out. I'm in like an undisclosed location right now. I'm in like looks like I'm in a panic room or something. So, yeah, I'm decrepit, but I will maintain myself to go to that celebration in Los Angeles for sure. We went to the Chicago one, which was great. That
You
was super
did.
fun.
That was what? Was that Celebration or was that D23? That was
That
D23.
was celebration. That was celebration.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that
Yeah,
was a lot of fun. Yeah, we should
yeah.
look up an old picture and you can throw it up. People can see it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
Hi.
pop something up there. Hello. Yeah, that was fun. The fans were rabid. They were crazy.
Rabbit.
I remember one person holding their baby, and they basically threw it at Oscar, and they're like, "Here's my baby. Here's
I
my
remember
baby."
that. Yeah. Son my
And they
baby.
wanted him. Yes,
Take it. Raise
sign
my
my
baby.
baby. Raise my baby.
I got my baby.
And
It
no,
was pretty bananas.
it was like a religious experience for people. They were like treating him like some sort
It's
of second
crazy.
coming. So
I know. And he's just a
just a little supple boy,
little supple boy.
yeah, yeah. Don't raise your baby for you, man.
Yeah, come on,
But
people.
yeah, no, but it was really cool, and you can just tell how much people love the Star Wars. So
Yeah, people who love
uh,
Star Wars are pretty passionate. Passionate enough to gift you their baby child. So,
it
you know,
happens. It happens.
yeah,
We're
be
passionate about
forewarned.
toys, obviously. This is what we do our show about. And it's always exciting when new companies come along and they put it out there. They ask what people want to see, and that's what Syndicate Collectibles is
And when you
doing.
say new company, you meant that in
Hmm.
quotations, right, Michael?
New company. Yes. This is formerly the guy from Soda Toys, who, as you know, made ridiculous, amazing Street Fighter figures
Street
eons
Fighter.
ago.
Yeah.
Yes. So now we're getting new stuff from I think his name is Jeremy. So Jeremy spoke on Instagram today. So then he was asking people what they wanted. Like what
Clearly,
kind of
I
figures.
remember being on the ball.
I
Sorry,
started
I got carried
something.
away.
I started. You found yourself back in the '90s.
Oh yeah, Pearl Jam. I mean, whew, 10. What a great album.
What was your style in the '90s? You listen to Pearl Jam. What was your vibe like?
I never really thought of myself as having a style. I've always had like the toddler style, where you just kind of wear t-shirts, shorts, and sneakers.
You still have the toddler style.
I know. I mean, that's just how it's always been. But I really
I
like the
call
music.
it the Adam Sandler vibe.
There you go. Maybe that's what it was.
Just for comfort,
That's what I was
not
always about. It's always been
not
about comfort.
success or women or anything.
No. Who wants that when you have toys, Michael?
Exactly.
I was dressed for
Exactly. That's
toys.
why we do the show.
Exactly, Michael.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember a lot of times you go to. I mean, I would go to Walden Books and I would read the Toy Fair
yeah.
magazines.
Oh, I used to
That's
love getting Wizard comics and Toy Fair, all that fun stuff. The Walden Books, I remember that's where I got my first copies of Ninja Turtle, the graphic novel, so I could read the whole story because I couldn't find the
uh,
individual issues.
there you go. Yeah,
Love it.
that was
Still
our
got those.
'90s. That was our style, baby. That was your style
Yeah.
for sure. But Syndicate Collectibles, to get off track, they're asking what people would like to see. They want cyberpunk, steampunk,
What a cool
mythological,
concept.
historical. I like it. I think
The
that's the
fact that
thing
they're
that
like,
there's.
yeah, they're like, let's just ask people what they want. It's like,
What do
why
you
are we
want?
gonna
What the
bust
heck
our
do you
heads
want?
here, come up with something, and everybody's like, no, I didn't want that. Let's just ask them what they want and give it to them.
Well, look, they put it out there. Like, what's the scale? What kind of articulation do you want? Do you prefer that over a sculpt? Like, what's important to you? Do you want tons of accessories? Do you want to keep the cost down and limit those? Do you want sculpted stuff, diorama based? Do you want soft goods? Soft goods. We love soft goods here on Figures Not Included. So
Love those
I
soft
proposed a
goods.
question to you, Ned. What would you like to see from an original line of action figures?
Man, that's a great question, and I think there's so many potential answers for that. But I was thinking a lot about and I was looking at the distributor list a week or two ago, and they had these amazing mechs, and the
Mm.
mechs had little cockpits to put the people in, and it was
Hmm.
so cool. It was Joy Toy. Joy Toy was making these. They were just
Okay.
really really cool. I think they didn't even have an IP. I think they were just designs that someone decided to make into figures over there at Joy Toy, and they were so cool, and they reminded me of Exo Squad from
Hmm.
the 90s, and I was like, man, I love a really cool piloted mech, and I was like, someone should just do something, maybe not even Exo Squad, but just a
Extra Squad.
piloted exo suit with like really cool mech design, cool characters that they can fit in them. And then it's cool because I used to love that about Exo Squad. You got this really cool little character, and you got this awesome mech that shot missiles and had all little moving pieces, little things to
Hmm.
connect the guy into the cockpit.
I
So
love those, man. Those are so awesome.
they were a lot
So
of fun. So
cool.
I would like to see something like that, something very tech heavy, something that
Tech
just
heavy.
very like cyber, very futuristic, very
Cyber.
mechanical, cyber. So yeah, that's what I would like to see, and I would like to see it. I would love to say a 6-inch scale, but I wonder if how big would a mech in a 6-inch scale would be. So I would say let's do it like three
Yeah. Well.
quarter inch with a nice
Well,
nice
that's
mech.
that's the question. It doesn't have to be a 1/12. It could be like, what's the perfect line for you? It could be 3 3/4 scale. You know?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I would like it to be bigger just because you can get more detail into the bigger one. So I would love to see 1/6 scale. And you kind of see that with Hasbro when they just put out the G.I. Joe snake suit,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's a pretty nice beefy looking figure. So I think, if you do it right, you can do a 6-inch figure mech, but then I'm like, you do kind of limit yourself because you don't know how big you can go. So
Hmm.
I would figure start a little bit smaller, maybe 3 3/4 inch. Because I remember the exosquads were actually really small. The figures were not even 3 3/4. They must have been like 2.5 inches. So
Yeah.
maybe a 3 3/4 inch scale mech line with big ass mechs would probably be my little input there. What about you, Mike?
Hmm.
I know you have all wonderful, beautiful ideas bubbling around in that big head of yours.
Always bubbling. Got big ass head. So there's always a lot of ideas going through this massive cranium I got. Not a lot of brain, but a lot of thoughts. But yeah, I would like to see some historical stuff, and not even like factual historical. It could be loosely based, or something like the Odyssey. So going into Greek mythology, getting all those kind of characters.
That would be really
Zeus,
cool.
Athena, stuff like that. Hades, doing like your own really awesome versions of those type of characters would be cool. I
Mm.
I would like to see some maybe Mayan style looking things. I remember seeing something from Brutal Realm, and they did a Native American look, and it looked really awesome. And it just sort of made my mind percolate with different ideas
Yeah.
of, oh, a Mayan line of figures would look so badass. And I think of the movie Apocalypto, and think of how cool all those characters look, like Jaguar, and there's all the chieftains and everything. And I
Mhm.
think you could do some really cool designs with
Like
that
a
kind of style.
You can also do like a playset pyramid with like human sacrifice pit, you know,
Yeah.
real chopping action, have the blood
Yeah,
rails,
that's how Jaguar Paw. That's the name of the character, Jaguar
Yeah,
Paw.
I
Yeah, I
am
remember.
Jaguar Paw. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome, right?
I think the way
Well,
you do it, like you would have to film the commercials like in those '90s styles. Now with actual blood,
real blood action, yeah.
real,
Remember how they used to
and
have it
look,
in figures and you could like pump little things and the blood would go through the tubes and stuff like that?
yeah,
That's what they should
exactly.
do, like little tubes that shows like blood dripping down the altar. I don't know.
Man,
Little pile of
back in
corpse
the
with like,
'90s, no one gave a shit. You have blood
oh,
pumping through different vials and tubes, and
I
the
know, they
parents were
didn't
like,
care.
"Yay, our kids are
Kids love that
our
stuff.
kids love that stuff." Thanks, mom.
Oh, mom, real bloody action. Love it.
Yeah. So you could go with that, but I would just love to have figures
Oh
in
yeah,
that
the figure. It
style.
reminds me a little bit of Mythic Legions. They released a
Yeah.
figure line that they're doing of the Snake Men, with Basilia, the serpent, the
Hmm.
winged serpent, and they modeled their stuff after like a Mesopotamian or Mesozoic. What is it? Mesozoic, Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia.
Mesopotamia.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
Yeah,
and yeah, they
Istanbul,
had that kind of
not
Mayan feel to
Constantinople.
it.
Yeah,
They had the headdresses, they had, like, the clubs with the, sharp jade edges and stuff like that. So, yeah, I could totally see an amazing kinda like, a Mayan-inspired line. Very cool, very great idea, you see, and you knew something good.
something good would pop out of this dumb head
Oh,
of
yeah.
mine.
This stuff pops out of you all the time, Michael.
Oh, you got so many things, like little polyps of ideas. So,
Little pustules
um,
of wonderful ideas.
pustules of pop culture. That should be
True,
the. That's it. Um, okay, so speaking of pop culture, we got Superman. He's back. He's coming back
back,
now with a new
baby.
movie, and that means new figures. So they showed off some of the superpower stuff, which give or take, I can do. I like just seeing.
I mean, they wanna
Um,
cover it all,
it,
They're covering
me
the
too.
superpower
I mean,
collectors.
Metamorpho in basketball shorts. That's cool. So I'm wondering what that's about. And then you got your obviously like your 7-inch McFarlane statue. You got a kaiju, which looks pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
And
interesting.
then you got Mephisto here in his basketball shorts. And
Mephisto, no,
I
Metamorpho.
mean Metamorpho. Sorry, I'm Mephisto. Metamorpho. Excuse me. I don't know
With
shit
his
about comic books.
with his
Um,
knee-high shorts.
Knee-high shorts, yeah. So you got him, and then you have two versions of Superman. You just have the standard version, and I don't know about this one. This looks blocky and chunky, and
Well, I mean, that's been the complaint about James Gunn's Superman in general. They don't like the more baggier, blockier suit. Everybody's hoping that it'll look better in the film when it was debuted, but we'll see, we'll see. A lot of people like to cast judgment before the film is out. Uh,
yeah.
we'll see what it looks
Well,
like on
well,
film.
I'm saying that for the figure, it doesn't do the figure any justice. It just kind of looks
Oh,
looks a
yeah,
little pajama
if it
like.
doesn't translate great for film, I think it's even worse for movies, I mean, for toys.
Yeah. So
So
you can see here, this is the deluxe version, which brings three different faceplates, has a red eye one, some flying hands, and your boy, Crypto. Look at little
Crypto!
Crypto. Look at little Shaggy.
It's a sweet little pup, I think if I had to get one, I would definitely get the one with Crypto, it's like, who wouldn't want little
You
super
have to get
dog,
Crypto. Absolutely.
chilling along with, Superman himself there. Yeah, I'm excited for this movie. The toy lines, movie toy lines are always a little iffy for me. I have to wait
Hmm.
to see how excited the movie makes me and that interpretation of the character, and so that helps me overlook a lot of the flaws from, like, the movie to figure.
Yeah.
But sometimes the figures just really like are exciting, but like you said, this one looks a little chunky. We'll see,
A little thick.
how it looks like in the actual movie and if it's worth picking up. But it's cool. It's a cool McFarlane, style figure with all the kind of bells and whistles we're used to with
Got the
the
cloth
collector's
cape, the
line.
wired cape,
Yeah, wired cape, extra face plates, which is kind of cool. Taking a book out of those import figures. So
Hmm.
yeah, it gives us a little more options. So, yeah, I mean, I like to see these in person. Hopefully they look a little bit
Yeah.
better. And yeah, I'm excited for the movie. I'm really hoping that we're gonna get another a stellar Superman movie. Although, it's sad we never got to see Henry Cavill's Superman really develop into much more traditional Superman. We only got his, origin, a little bit of a darker kind of like scrambling to figure out who he was, but it never really got to
Hmm.
develop into like the standard, Superman that's sure of himself and knows what he's doing. And I think that would
Right.
have been a really cool movie for Henry Cavill Superman. But hey, hopefully this version will do great, if not better, and we'll have a really exciting Superman for the newer generations.
Yeah, I think that's the hope, and the Superman's got to do well. It's got
Yeah,
to be the
and I
one
like
that
the cast.
really
I mean,
takes DC to the next age.
I think they did a really good job on casting this movie. I think, a lot of the characters look good. I think, Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, I think those are all great actors for it. And the one I thought was really great is that they corrected what I thought was a little bit of a sidestep, even though he kind of made it his own and people really liked Jason Momoa's interpretation of
Mamau. Yeah.
Aquaman. He made it more punk rock, but a lot of people, more traditionalists, were like, "Yeah, that's not what Aquaman normally looks like, or at all." Even akin to his '90s look with the longer hair and beard and stuff. but everyone said he would look perfect for Lobo, and we've just seen set footage of him as Lobo now, even himself, he told in an interview, Jason was interviewed, and he was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought
first
they were
name basis. Okay.
oh yeah, we're like super tight. And he said, I thought they were calling me in for Lobo. And then when they offered him Aquaman, he was like, oh yeah, okay, I can do that too. So now we get to
Yeah,
see
why
an
not?
Aquaman, and along with other great, characters that they're bringing in there with great actors. So I'm being optimistically positive and looking forward to the James Gunn, extended DC universe.
Well, there you go. You got a little bit of a look. You got the leaked photos from set, and I mean, yeah, he looks
I
pretty
mean,
awesome as
he
Lobo.
looks just like Lobo, so it's like that's the right part for him, I think.
Nailed it. Absolutely, yeah. And we just hope, yeah, the Superman is the Superman for us, and people love it, and that I love it, and that you love it, and that it's just like it hits all the points. And I feel like they're really going for broke. They're going full comic book. If you add crypto to it, then you're going really into the Superman lore with this one, I imagine.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I think they're diving
gotta go for
more into
broke.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they went for
absolutely.
the more darker, a little more streamlined versions in the Snyderverse. Here they're going deeper with the much more maybe convoluted, I would say, for lack of a better
Mm,
word, with so many characters and origins and little bits in that. I mean, you have a super dog. I mean, if you're not
yeah.
adding, all the all the little bells and whistles,
Yeah, they're giving the full package Superman, so for better or worse. So we'll see
so yeah,
how
we'll see what turns out.
how all it comes out. And these figures were up for pre-order. And I mean, Toddy Mac, it's been such a chaotic, crazy month, 2 months for that company from McFarlane Toys, from the Mattel stuff, losing the DC license, and or at least losing it for 6-inch figures or 7-inch action figures, and then getting their truck stolen of their Supergirls and Jokers, and
Yeah, like
and
what's
then you got
that
the
about?
Superman figures.
Who's
Well,
gonna be like?
who's
I mean,
who's
my
behind it?
assumption is they probably didn't know that it was a truck just full of toys, but I think it's so funny that like if someone's literally run out and they're like, "We're gonna steal all these toys, and we're gonna sell them on on the black toy market, and if you want a Supergirl page puncher, you're gonna have to pay, because
You're
we're
gonna
in
have to meet
prices."
Tony outside of 35th and,
Yeah,
and Berkeley.
it'll be like
Look
white
for the
vans
unmarked van
parked
for.
behind the WalMarts,
Yeah,
just selling
yeah,
Supergirls.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's what it
silly.
is now. It's just like all the terror stuff. It's like, how do you make
Yeah,
a
maybe
quick
that's what
buck?
it is.
You know?
They're like, "We're gonna
Yeah.
avoid the terrorists and hold on to these."
Yeah. I mean, he's just Toddy Mac stole it. He's just selling them on the black market himself.
He's trying to increase the excitement,
Demand. Yeah, excitement demand
It's not,
for
first it
McFarlane
was
Toys.
chase figures, then it was like triple chase figures. Now it's hot chase figures
Chase figures.
out the back of a truck. You got that. Boy, you're a real collector.
Oh, I mean, this is the ultimate collecting piece right there.
Right. The hot Supergirl page puncher right out of the white
It,
van.
it's the worst Fast and Furious plot line you've ever heard, where they steal a truck of toys.
It's true. Vin Diesel,
Vin Diesel,
he made the
man,
wrong deal with somebody.
he really did. He
Oh,
just like he
poor
just
Vin.
gained too much weight. He's just really lazy and tired. And he's like, I guess we'll do the toy truck one.
Let's
So
just do the toy. That's an easy one.
it's an
We don't
easy
have to go
one.
into space. We don't have to jump off a
Yeah,
train.
he doesn't have to get out of the car.
This
He doesn't do anything. He just sort of drives a minivan.
pulls up next to it. Hey, give me the truck.
Give me a truck with family. Yeah,
Because we're
that's
family.
with family. That's fine.
That's a good one.
That's good stuff. Um,
Yeah. Well, McFarlane Toys, they've had a year, but jump into another company, NECA, has had their share of, issues this year as well, with their whole
yeah.
little debacles of sending people things and then demanding them back and all that
Mm-hmm,
craziness.
mm-hmm.
We won't get into everything, but they're still chugging along. They're putting out a lot of stuff. They're working with Target with the Target Haulathon, and they've put out some really neat stuff. And they just revealed, and I believe we were talking about this earlier. This is probably what brought the worms to our friend David. There is the what's called Worms of Madness Shredder 2-pack. that
Yeah,
they
this is a
revealed.
Shredder 2-pack. This is the Worms of Madness. This is based on appearances in the Return to New York and City at War storylines. I am not familiar with those, so don't hate me. Sorry, I don't know everything. All right, nerds.
Yummy
But
Michael!
um, really cool, big, bad, beefy design of
Hey, and that's what
Shredder.
I'm thinking. It's like, who doesn't want just a totally roided up Shredder? I mean, Worms or not, he looks freaking awesome. You
He
know?
does. And look,
I
you get the
mean,
little worm right there.
and I was curious when they showed both versions of him. I thought it was just
Eee!
gonna be like an interchangeable torso, but no, they just gave us the whole 2
A
figures.
whole damn other figure. Yeah.
Kit caboodle here, Michael.
I wonder if maybe that would have been an interesting way to go. If it's just an added torso and you just pop it
Well,
on.
that's what
Do you
Mondo
like
did. You saw
would you
Mondo did it
prefer
with
yeah, that's true.
uh,
Would you prefer that or do you like the idea of a full 2-pack?
you know, honestly, if it reduced the price, I would go for the interchangeable torsos. But you know, if it's not gonna make that much of a difference to give us the legs, I'm fine with the 2-pack. You know, it would really depend
Yeah.
on the price difference.
I
But
mean, if you know, if you could have two different displays now that you have two figures, you know,
exactly, exactly.
if you
But
want to
I
do
mean,
if you want to
you
go
really
that
want
way.
2 different displays? I don't know. Maybe
I
it's
mean,
a
if you
little
got the real estate, why
if you
not?
do, but most people don't. So,
That's true. That's
and like
true.
I was trying to say earlier before you so rudely, you know, interrupted.
What I do?
The Mondo did this with the Wolverine. They just released
Yeah.
97 Wolverine, you know, on the 1/6 scale, and they gave an extra torso, so you could do, you know, bare chested Wolverine, and
It's like a bare chested shredder
yeah, and bare here we got bare chested Shredder, so they could have done the
swap.
extra pop and swap torsos, but hey, you know, like I
Yeah.
said, I don't mind getting the legs. It's cool, like you said, if you got the real estate and you can do double displays, or just kind of nice that you don't have to worry about, you know, the pieces floating around and you just have two individual figures. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
picking this one up. I just think it looks fantastic. I love all the Mirage stuff. And like I said, just a super roided Shredder. He just looks so badass. I really like this one.
Yeah.
I'm picking him up.
I mean, who doesn't love Super Shredder in the movies and the cartoons, video games, and they
Exactly.
have a sort of Mirage
Yeah,
version,
super
and
Shredder, man. He's
it's
iconic.
very cool. You have April 2, Mirage. This is the second version of April, looking great. And she was part
Yeah,
of the week 2 Haulathon drops,
he was.
along with some other
You
ones.
say second version of April, but this is generally the original April,
Is it
which I
original?
think.
Well, on the box it says version 2. So I'm just
Yeah,
referencing what
yeah,
it says
version
on the
2 as
box.
in the second version of the April, because they did release the earlier one, and I totally
Right.
agree with that. I'm just saying at a little side note for those, you know, that want a little deeper, you know,
Well,
toy
actually,
information.
on the side
If you want
note,
the real deep toy accurate news that we
it's
deliver
not
here.
accurate. This is the first version. Sorry,
This is
man.
actually the original April O'Neil,
It
and,
is, yes.
the more Caucasian one came later as, when they were printing the comics, they lightened her up, and then even more so for the cartoon where they made her a redhead. But I love
Yeah.
that version. I was actually quite fortunate, as you have your little posse of Eds, Michael, that run around gathering you all your toys. I have a little posse of my own. And
Oh,
my good friend Brian was able to snag me these a little early, and he grabbed me April. So I'm very excited. I want to share her with you in a little bit. We'll see the
yeah.
actual figurine, but some other cool ones I can show off as well. But yeah, it's been very exciting to see more and more Mirage stuff. I was actually just talking to somebody at the shop the other day that I really wish that the Mirage had more of an imprint when they started and not as much as the cartoon version, because I think I would have,
Mm,
because I went all in on the Toon, you know,
yeah.
license and bought all the figures. But now that they're pumping out so much Mirage versions of these, I kind of wish, because they've always been my favorite. The comic book versions have always been my favorite. So I kind of wish that I had done these instead, just because I love the way the Mirage stuff looks, and I would have loved to
Hmm.
have the display. But right now my display is all the Toon stuff, which I love. Don't get me wrong, I really appreciate those too. But the Mirage stuff just holds a real special spot in my heart, and I would love to have a display. So hopefully, I will get some extra room somewhere magically. A little pocket dimension will open up somewhere here where I can go in and actually get out more of my collection and see all this stuff, and I can do a nice little setup with Mirage.
Yeah, Mirage would have been a cool start. Obviously, the tunes are just the most popular and probably the most iconic versions of the Turtles.
Yeah,
And maybe it was a licensing thing where they had to go with tunes first as opposed to comic book.
yeah.
But I'm just grateful that we can kind of get this April now and other Mirage versions of the
Oh yeah.
Turtle
I mean, I'm not complaining. Like I said, I'm a
Turtle
turtle
roster.
junkie.
Yeah.
And to get all these versions now and these really amazing figures that NECA are putting out constantly, I mean, I'm not complaining. I know there was a drought there where you could barely get any Ninja Turtle stuff, and now it's everywhere. And so I kind of feel kind of happy that I get to pick and choose the versions that I really want, and
Hmm.
so much great stuff to choose from where you're really getting, the best versions of the turtles instead of just the only versions that are available. Now we're getting to dig around and seeing who's making it the best.
I mean, I love this like super cool Utrum.
I know.
Um,
How cool are the little brain creatures,
they're awesome, and
Fun
like he has like
fun
a
little
cologne or
package.
something, and he's got this fedora type of hat. I think like has like a cigarette or something, or a pipe. He's got a pipe in his mouth. That is a
I know.
pretty badass
NECA knows how to do
Utrum.
their accessories and how to really add little extra tidbits to these things to really make them stand out. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, you figure, oh, it's just April, and her little, jeans and jacket, but it's a really nice figure. And throwing in little bits like the little Utron with the hat, I mean, it's
It's just
it's
the
just
extra details that
fun.
make the full package that much
Yeah,
better, you know.
yeah,
And
exactly.
they're so excellent at
A
that.
little more bang
Uh,
for your buck.
exactly, and more bang for so many bucks is this Ultimate Shredder, which I think I
Yeah.
showed off last week.
Yeah, we all got that last week. We talked a
Yeah,
lot about this last week.
he looks great. Just like another great looking new
Yeah, yeah. It's
version
great a
of
great one.
a much needed update, and he looks really good. And really happy to have him. So I
Oh, yeah.
believe they're still on Target. You can go get that. You can get a plushie Sonic. You can get Garfield. I know how much you love Garfield, and I got Ninja Turtle Garfield.
Hey, I'm getting
So yeah, day one purchase right there,
that
baby.
is a day one, I'm staying up waiting for the time to click over so I can start smashing that F4 button or whatever.
And they got the Handyman Donatello, which we kind of passed by, but looks cool. So
Yeah,
again,
that's
more
one
Mirage
that
stuff.
probably gonna sit around for a bit because no one I think really needs that one. And if you can get it cheap, someone will pick it up. But yeah, I mean it's an easy one for them to put out, so I'm sure that's why they did.
Yeah, and then you got like you said that you were able to get the April, right? Like
I
you had a
did. I
hookup.
got her here. If you want to throw her up on the little toy cams, you can
We
see
could.
in hand images here of April in packaging. Like
And
I said, I don't really have a place to put my Mirage turtles right now, so I haven't opened a lot of them. But I do love them, and I do love the boxes that they come in, so it's not such a bad thing. And this April is just really, really cool. I love the way they made her look. She's got real that kind of like sketch style to her. They made her look really nice, and like I said, it's got all those really fun little accessories and everything.
mhm.
So just super, super fun. But that wasn't everything my buddy was able to snag for me. I
Oh,
got
really? Oh,
yeah, yeah, and there he is now.
oh,
Look,
that's him with a brand new version of.
Love that new figure smell.
Smells.
you should put a little jingle with that, Mikey. A little sound bite.
Yeah, we'll talk to the production team after this
Yeah, a
episode, and we'll
little
get
little
on that for
musical.
sure.
We should build a little musical jingle. Just keep self
A little
improvement.
jingle jangle, yeah, yeah. You know what we do. We're always looking to critique and improve ourselves. Is what we do.
All right, guys, this was a good one. This is one I think everybody was very excited for, and I'm happy I was able to get my hands on it. There he
Boom.
is, PandaCon, and let me tell you, Michael, this thing is a chunk. It is
He's
a
a thick
heavy
boy, right?
figure. He is a thick panda, like a panda should be. You don't want those
Yeah.
little skinny pandas. You want a nice
No, you want a big
full,
boy.
full big boy, lots of eucalyptus. Not eucalyptus. That's a koala. I mean, bamboo, Mikey.
Bamboo, bamboo. Get your animal right.
I'm sorry. Let me open it up here so people can actually get a good look at that figure. How's that look, Michael?
Beautiful. It's a beautiful PandaCon. Now, PandaCon, he was in the cartoon. I don't remember him being in the cartoon. Or was he just an action figure for
I
Playmates?
don't remember an episode of him. I mean, but there have been a lot of these that I well, how do you say it? Like, I remember the figure. So there might be an episode with PandaCon out there. I'm just not familiar with it.
I just don't remember one. I just don't ever remember. And I mean, I could be totally wrong. And then you see the artwork, and it's like, oh yeah, he was on the cartoon, right? Because look at it.
And I don't know. We could have easily Googled it, but we got lazy, I guess.
I don't think he was in the original one.
He might have just been a cool figure that they did. I think a lot of people nowadays will confuse him with Kung Fu Panda, but we'll always know from the original toy, PandaCon. Just a really fun.
It's just funny to be like. It's just funny to think about how he's not really in the comic books. He's not a cartoon character, but he's so synonymous with Ninja Turtles.
I just think everybody had him, everyone who loved Ninja Turtles and played with the toys had a PandaCon. He was very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember running up into the toy aisle and seeing this, really cool looking panda. And you're like, what the crap is this? This is so cool. And then you find out he's like a samurai and he's so, cool. And he got all his like battle axe and stuff with him. And you're like, yeah, I'm picking that up. So,
yeah.
I was really happy that they remade him. There's a couple of characters that I was very happy to see NECA redo in this version. And this is definitely one of them.
Well, that is a great one. I also got a great one. A figure right here in my hands, and I want to do a big shout out to Hidden Temple Toys because they hooked it up with the 30th anniversary 1,000 toys Hellboy. This thing is incredible. I have seen videos, I've seen photos. Oh, I'm gonna open this bad boy right up. I'm ripping it, dipping it.
You're gonna do an on-camera opening. I like it.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Oh, look at that!
I mean, I got pop up the plastic, fresh.
Yeah.
They got sword and horns. Whoa. And what do you know about this 1,000 Toys Hellboy?
I know that he's pretty sought after. I know we talked about him a lot. You were very interested in it. Hellboy's real popular, and the fact that this one is the anniversary edition. Looks like he just jumped out of the comic book right out of Mike Mignola's artwork. Really nice figure. 1,000 toys. That's such a good job. And what a neat figure. And it's just a high quality figure with just a lot of like accessories, soft goods, and everything. I mean, like if you want an interpretation of Hellboy, this is a good one to get.
This might be the one to get. Yeah. I know NECA had done some, and they've done some movie ones. They have their own comic.
Yeah, we've had a couple of them in the shop, the NECA one, and I forgot who did the other one. But yeah, I don't think they hold a candle to this guy. 1,000 Toys did an amazing job on this figure, and you can show it off there. He is just
great.
Awesome.
I mean, look at his arm.
Look at that chunk of a hand.
A chunk of a hand, and it's cool because it has this little square that's cut out, and that's supposed to give you the extra range in the arm. So nice. You can actually bend the full fist.
Very
that way, and it looks great on the elbow as well. It's all super smooth. I mean, it feels really cool. The fingers look a little funny. Just because they did every single joint articulated, but you know what? I think it's actually kind of fun.
It's kind of neat because you can actually make them do whatever you want there.
Yeah, you can do some
good
really
or bad,
rude things.
It's up to your moral code.
It's up to my moral code, and we know that's been very compromised. So, he's got he's got the shirt on, which is cool, but he had a soft chest, so you can press it in.
He's got
underneath, yeah. So then he's got just like. He can kind of squeeze down a little bit.
I'm assuming that the shirt is removable, so if you want to do the bare-chested version, you can.
Oh, yeah. And that's like about as much crunchy you can get just initially with it, which is good,
Yeah.
And then you have it's just that rubber overlay over his whole upper torso. And then you can take off the jacket. I think you pop off one of the arms. You can probably pop off this arm,
Yeah,
and then you can remove all the clothing. Yeah.
Very cool.
But I actually like this shirt. I think the shirt looks cool on him. I dig the shirt.
Oh, yeah. He looks awesome. It's just nice to know that you have that option, if you want.
Yes. Yeah. And it feels really good quality. Much like our Figures Not Included t-shirts, which we got lots of compliments about on Saturday.
How many people loved our shirts. I guess we debuted them a week ago, but when we got them in. And then this weekend we actually got to wear them when you visited me at the store.
That's the word.
And I think they're very nice shirts, very soft. They feel soft. Really good against the skin.
And very fashionable. People were like, "Oh, did people do double takes on those shirts?"
No nipple chafing, good material.
And I have hard nipples. I get really hard nipples sometimes, just out of nowhere, and this covered my hard nipples. So
exactly. So it's no more pasties. You're like,
no more pasties. I know. I can throw them all away now. I spent thousands of dollars on pasties, and now it's solved by this affordable, high quality shirt.
Figure Not Included shirt. It did the thing. But yeah, we're thinking if people really like it, we'll throw it up on the shop, let people get a chance to support the channel and pick up a really, really nice shirt there. We'll see what other fun merch we can come up with.
Yeah. And speaking of merch and shops, like I got this Hellboy and I got him at Hidden Temple Toys.
You almost got scorched there, Michael.
Oh man,
I gotta be
careful, man. I know. I look like you if I keep that dragon around.
Like me.
I know. My eyebrows get blown away by the incredible deals that you have at Hidden Temple Toys.
Yeah, we've gotten some really great stuff in lately. I know we're getting some really cool new things in. We've gotten stuff like that, like the Hellboy from 1000 Toys. We've gotten in some more Jada stuff. I know we got some more Cyberpunk things. Just a bunch of really cool stuff that's coming through. So if you're interested, check us out on our website, hiddentempletoys.com, or come visit us in Selma like Michael did and hang out, chat with me, and check out all our awesome
talk to me.
Story. Yeah. So yeah, I would love to see you guys visit us at Hidden Temple.
Yeah, for sure. And it was super fun. And like I said, I was there with you on Saturday, and just people were flying in, getting a bunch of stuff. Someone got this amazing, massive premium grade Gunpla.
Yeah. It was Ashtray premium grade Gundam with I forget the full name of it, but yeah, it had like real samurai swords. It's just a huge box, really cool. When I remember that one came in, I was like, I want it. I want to take it home. And
I imagine that happens so much. And we were actually playing around with we were posing the Hot Toys Spider-Man and Goblin.
That was really a lot of fun. That was such just a little fun time to be there and to mess around with those. You made a fantastic little video for us, and we put it out there. It was really, really nice, and people loved it. They saw it, and someone came in and bought it right up. I mean,
I know,
insta sell.
So when you ask,
play with the toys, you have a good time. You're gonna want to take them home.
Yeah, you buy the toys and hang with the boys.
That's how we do it. Hidden Temple
Toys. Our motto.
Come for the toys, stay for the boys. Right, Michael?
I hope it's not taken out of context in any way whatsoever. So no, we're just hanging. We're hanging. Boys hanging with toys.
Hanging out, talking about toys. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Innocent, wholesome.
So innocent until proven guilty. PandaCon, you showed off, and we were talking about how much we've had fun with that figure as a kid. So I think that's a perfect segue into one of my favorite segments. My favorite segment, actually, with the yellowing. I might have a little yellowing in my tongue.
Oh, I think you got some yellow. You got the jaundice.
Speak anymore. I gotta go see a dentist or
A gynecologist.
Someone. I gotta go tell my gyno about that one.
I know you're like, Mr. Gyno, I'm not doing so hot.
No, I'm doing so hot, doc. Things are heavy. So what do you have for us this week on the Yellow Ring, my friend?
I love it that we always seem to figure out a way to tie things in. I had to do a little rummaging this week, but we were talking about how iconic PandaCon is and how much people remember him from the toy line. So I actually was able to dig up my PandaCon unpunched, if you noticed,
Excuse me.
original PandaCon, and I wanted to kind of show it off for you guys here to see how cool the
Rip 'em
original
open.
PandaCon was.
Yeah. Wow, look at that thing, man.
Yeah,
that is really, really cool. Would you remember getting this PandaCon?
No. The truth is, I didn't have this PandaCon as a child. Somebody close to you had this PandaCon, and it was his favorite. And when we would play, this was his go-to character. And so I remember a while ago, I was like, it'd be really cool. I'm gonna get him a PandaCon so he remembers his childhood. And
so sweet.
I got him a PandaCon like this one, and I was like, "Hey man, I got something really cool for you. Check this out. You love it?" And he's like, "What the crap is that?" I was like, "It's PandaCon. You love this one. This is your
He was like,
Ninja Turtle toy."
He was like, "Who are you? Get out of my house."
Who are you? I don't even know who you are, let alone this thing. So it broke my heart a little bit, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Another one for the collection.
Another one for the collection.
Yeah, with tainted memories.
Tainted memories and tears.
But not a tainted card, because that card is nice and crispy.
Exactly. Not, what is it? His loss, my gain.
That's what they say. Yeah. I mean, he looks great, man. Pristine condition. It sucks that you never got the PandaCon, but hey, you got it now. Even better when
I got to play with it all the time. And as I got older and I was collecting more of the Ninja Turtles, I did get one. I just didn't have it originally as a child. But as I got older and I was collecting, I did get a PandaCon, and I had that one like for myself, but not as a childhood toy. And so
so which of the childhood toys, this is where I wanted to go with it. Which is the next one you want to see made out of the childhood Ninja Turtle toys?
Out of the childhood Ninja Turtle one? Ooh, that's a hard one, You kind of put me on the spot here. They've made a lot of they made a lot of the ones that I've wanted. And
can I tell you mine?
I will. Well, before, let me finish me. If you're going to ask me, let me at least get it out.
Finish yourself off, then I'll go.
So, NECA has pretty much covered all of these, but there is one I would like to see, and that's from Super 7. I want Super 7 to do Usagi Yojimbo, reminiscent of the actual figure, because that's what Super 7's toy line is. It's just kind of like a modernization of the toy line.
Yeah,
and I love that Usagi Yojimbo version as much as I love the Stan Takai ones that he does now, and in his art style and everything, and more along the toon versions that they've done. But none of them have ever looked like the rabbit that they did for the original Ninja Turtle toy line. So if Super 7 could please give us Usagi Yojimbo, and I'm sure there's probably some sort of licensing there between, Stan Sakai, and and all that kind of mumbo jumbo you got to get through to get it made, but hopefully it'll get done, and we'll see that one, because I would love to get an updated version of that one. All right, Michael, go ahead. What do you see that you wanna?
I've been fiending for one specifically, Pizza Face.
Oh my gosh, Pizza Face. That's a good one.
Pizza Face.
Old obscure ones. Yeah, I remember getting Pizza Face. That was actually one of my favorite ones, just because he was so bizarre, so grotesque.
Exactly.
Meat cleaver leg.
Yes.
He had
vomit coming out of his mouth and spittle and everything.
Like teeth. He had these like little red pizzas that he would throw at you with his big fat fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. It just left such an indelible mark in my mind, and it's just one of the ones I've always wanted to see again. And I'm hoping
that would be a fun one. I would definitely like to see that. We never know, Michael. Yeah. And that one, I don't think they would have issues with anything, So we could definitely see that one. Another one that we have to wonder, was it ever in the cartoon?
He was around in the 2012 of the giant pizza, but I want the OG look. I want this
That's
Big
the one.
want.
Look at that thing. Who knows what he's been eating?
Pizza.
I don't know.
Or worm pizza.
Some sort of pizza, but
And so this is the one from 2012, which is also kind of fun. But you know,
it's a funny one, but definitely not as I think as interesting as the original Playmates one.
no. But you can do both. I mean, they're gonna do the 2012 version of the Turtles, so you can kind of
both. But at the end of the day, the one you want is this one, right?
Absolutely. So come on,
I think you're not
NECA.
alone, Michael. I think you're not alone.
I would hope not. You are not alone. I'm a
I'm
pizza
here.
fan. What?
You want a pizza face?
Yes.
It's such a disgrace. You don't have one yet.
This is the
All right,
portion
I
of the
think
show where
that
we break
signals
out into
the fact that
sing song.
we have lost our damn minds, and
We absolutely have, but we never
need
lose
to
our minds.
go before we
Talk about
offend our
toys.
viewers. Never.
I'm sure we have. I'm sure we did it in the first 10 minutes. So if they're still with us now, then we love you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for liking, subscribing to Figures Not Included on YouTube. We appreciate all those likes and smashing that big old fat like button and sharing us when you can. And thanks for following us on the IG and Instagram as well. Ned, any final thoughts before we sign off?
No, just a big thanks to everybody that always supports us and that continues to support us, and just spread the word. Keep joining us every week here as we continue to give you this fantastic toy information
Fantastic.
and all these beautiful toys. And I wish we could give you guys all these awesome toys we talk about here, but unfortunately, Michael, right?
Figures not included. Not. You get them every time. Every time.
Every time.
Those fools.